This is the Nostalgia Station, Memories 107.1. And coming back from a local break here on our 9-foot signal, here are our Memories 107.1 is KMER, Memories 107.1. We play some of the great standards and great fun from the music of your life. It's absolutely fabulous on a 9-foot closed circuit signal, starting at our Clinton North End. Glad you could be with me back on the air with our radio, television, and movie classics continues here on GJRB Online. Headed into hour number 2 of our program here in just a little bit here on Spreaker on GJRB Online. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the program wherever you're listening. We got a lot of really good stuff coming up, so I hope you'll stay with me. Right now, though, let's take a look at our weather on the 5s right now. Take a look at some areas across the United States having a lot of interesting weather, especially to our friends out in the Mississippi area, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, where you guys are going to get some interesting weather the next couple of days here. I'm going to take a look at some of those areas right now, including, let's see, why don't we try, what was that, Louisiana? Did I say Louisiana? Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. So why don't we take a look at some of those areas, like, let's see, what parts of those areas are having the most interesting weather. So we're going to kind of drop down there to the central Mississippi, in that area. We're going to take a look at that first and see what's going on there. That would be like Jackson, Mississippi area. Looking at your map right now, just along I-55, you got a string of marginal activity there from Natchez all the way up into Maggie and Brookhaven and Halesburg and Laurel. Those areas under a marginal risk for isolated severe thunderstorms, possible quarter-inch half hail, and is a primary concern. Timing will be mainly late afternoon and early evening. So if you're in those areas, it's probably about 3 minutes to 4 o'clock. So about 3:57, somewhere around that area. I'm going to skip that break. I had a break in there, promo break, but I really don't think I need it. I already have promos, and I already have a break on that, so I'm going to skip it at this point. So I'm kind of knocking out those promos. Don't get paid to run them, so I don't worry about it if I miss them. But anyway, that's some of your areas around the Mississippi right now, late today and tonight. So we're going to be taking a look at that area. They are on marginal risk for that kind of precipitation. So let's take a look at Jackson, Mississippi right now, real quick. In the plug it into. I'm going to plug that right now into Weather Underground and see what you guys have got there. Jackson, Mississippi, and see what's going on there. And let's see, right now in Jackson, Mississippi, according to the Georgetown station, you guys are at 72 degrees right now. And your barometric pressure, if we could check that real quick, going down the line here. Barometric pressure, takes a while for it to come up. 29.89 inches of mercury right now. Your relative humidity is 71%. You have a dew point of 65. UV index is very high at 9, 41 on the air quality. Very high on pollen at this point. And again, precipitation 80%, rain possible at 7 o'clock tonight. So at 6 o'clock our time, when I get off the air, you'll probably get a lot of rain coming. Jackson, Mississippi, right now, 72 degrees. You'll have no wind at this point. 80% chance of precipitation early, low 61. Tomorrow, 50% chance of scattered thunderstorms, high 79. East-southeast winds at 15 to 25 miles per hour. 100% chance of thunderstorms tomorrow night. I guess that could be the crust of it. 59 degrees. Wind south at 15 to 25 miles per hour. We'll take a look at the other regions, including New Orleans, Louisiana, and that area coming up this hour on radio, television, and movie classics here on GJRB Online. It is 4 o'clock Central Time right now, 4 o'clock in Clinton, Iowa right now, 5 o'clock in Jackson, Mississippi, and around that area. And it is 2 o'clock in the Pacific from Portland, Oregon, down to San Diego, California. You're listening to Gary J's Radio, Television, and Movie Classics on GJRB Online here on Spreaker. And thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying the program. In this hour of Radio, Television, and Movie Classics, got some more fun stuff coming up your way. In this hour, we have the Projection Room. Take a look at the top 10 movies from 1965. Got some real good ones here on this one. Want to check that out. Also, we'll do some trivia. Got some really good trivia questions coming up. We'll see if we can get some audience on that. Play some music and kind of go a little free form here a little bit. So it's just going to be a fun show, and I hope you'll stay with me here on a Friday afternoon. Great trivia and classic stuff, and I'll be telling you what's coming up on our nostalgic programming here on GJRB Online, including Radioland coming up. So you want to tune in for that. That's coming up real soon. We have Radioland, and I'm working on the day. I don't have a date set for that program yet, but I have the show complete. I just have to find a day to air it. So I'll be picking a day here real soon I will promote that. All right, meanwhile, let's get back on to the trivia, which I love doing. And it's time to crank up the movie projector because it is time for the Projection Room. Always fun to do that and bring you some great stuff from the bygone days of motion pictures. You know, besides watching television and hanging around the radio and stuff like that back in those days, or just jagging around by the listening to the car radio, you know, there were fun times at the movies. And of course, if you were one that kind of hung out at the drive-in and great movies like that, you saw some great movies back in 1965, and some really good films indeed. And we're going to go and give you those movies, the top 10 movies, the top 10 best films of 1965 here on radio, television, and movie classics on GJRB Online here on Spreaker. I hope you're enjoying the program wherever you're listening to, and I hope you're enjoying the show wherever you're listening to across the fine land of ours here on Spreaker. And we're kind of going to and picking the stuff that I know you're going to enjoy. We're going to kind of slide down there here. And then coming up, we'll answer those trivia questions from our previous show. We haven't done that yet, so we're going to do that here in a little bit. But we're going to give you the first 5 movies in our top 10 movies as soon as I find it now. What did I do with that particular page? I know I had it here somewhere. Now I can't find it now. Okay, I'll have to look in my history. Well, let's see. Okay, I'm going to go into my history page. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go down to yesterday. And let's see what we got here, because that's what I was doing yesterday. So I need to go down to that page. And let's see. Where is that thing? I know it's here somewhere. Okay, pages of TV Guide and all of that. Rundown of movies from top 10 movies of 1965. Okay, that's not it. Okay, where is that darn one on movies? It's going to be around here somewhere, because I know I thought I saved that page. On purpose, even. Okay. Let's see. Well, if we can't find that page right at this moment, what I will do is I will take a break from that, and then we'll go into the page where we're looking for that. Because I thought I had that now, and I saved it, but now I can't find it. So I'm going to have to do some quick searching here to see where that was. Because I thought I had that in there, and now I can't find it. This is what frustrates me about sometimes doing this show. I always put somewhere where I can find it, and then the next day when I do the program, it's not there. It's like someone kind of swipes it, and I'm not seeing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to postpone that feature, and we'll do the projection room a little later on, because I'm kind of overdue for that answer to those trivia questions that I had mentioned from the motion picture. So we're going to go ahead and go to the detectives and answer that trivia question. Okay, the TV detectives question. And let me see where that is, because I know I saved it. So I'm going to go over to my tablet where I know I have it. And I know I saved it to my email account. So I'm going to go to my email account here and go into my inbox where I have the segment there. Let me see down here a little bit. Let's see where. Okay, let me see if it's in there. No. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm going to go to my email on the computer and see if I can find it there. Because if I can't find it one way, I can find it another. Tell you what we'll do. I'm going to play a song, and then I will jump back and I will find it. It's got to be here somewhere. I know it is. I know it's here somewhere. So I'm going to throw in a tune. So I'll pull something out of my oldies, and I will find it. It's here somewhere. I know I have it. So we're going to go and play a song, and then see if we can find it. Let's see. MJKLMNO. Where's my oldies? Okay, let's see. Let's pop in an oldie. So we'll kind of throw in something from the 60s, and we'll look for it. Because I know it's here. Got to be here. You know, whatever happens to stuff, it's usually I don't save it properly. That's the whole problem. Anyway. Okay, let me play a little. Here's Frankie Avalon and Why. And I will be right back with our trivia here on GJRB and then the projection room.
I'll never let you go. Why? Because I love you. I'll always love you so. Why? Because you love me. No broken hearts for us, 'cause we love each other. And with our faith and trust, there could be no other. Why? 'Cause I love you. Why? 'Cause you love me. I think you're awfully sweet. Why? Because I love you. You say I'm your special treat. Why? Because you love me. We found the perfect love. Yes, a love that's yours and mine. I love you and you love me all the time.
I'll never let you go. Why? Because I love you.
Yes, I love you.
I'll always love you so. Why? Because you love me.
Yes, you love me. We found the perfect love. Yes, a love that's yours and mine. I love you and you love me
Fabulous. Frankie Avalon on GJRB Online, one of our crooners anyway. We'll have that one coming up. That's a good song. It's classic. Frankie Avalon and Why. Radio, television, and movie classics on GJRB Online. I'm Gary J. Rustin. Hope you're enjoying the program wherever you're listening across America. And I hope you're enjoying the trivia this afternoon. Got stuff I already picked out. We already got everything found. So here we go. Let's get the answers to the trivia questions. Then we'll do the top 10 movies from 1965. First off, let's take a look at the answers to the mystery trivia questions we did last show. Starting with 1955 to 1959 police drama, considered to be one of the most successful syndicated shows. And it starred Broderick Crawford as Chief Dan Matthews. What was the name of that series? Was it A, Johnny Cicado, B, Big Town, C, Highway Patrol, or D, Crawford Mystery Theater? And it was C, Highway Patrol. Okay? And Highway Patrol featured regular appearances by William Boyett, who then would go on to become Sergeant McDonald on Adam 12. Wow. What was that one? Number 2, the show seen in syndication in 1950 from CBS from 1951 to 1953, starring Reed Hadley as Captain John Braddock in San Francisco Police Department. What was the name of that show? Was it A, Bunko Squad, B, Racket Squad, C, Vice Division, or D, Robbery Homicide Detail? And it was Reed Hadley. It was Racket Squad. I have some promos. Remember that opening of the show where you hear that okay, I think it was that Rocket Squad. Anyway, Racket Squad. It was a series that ran from 1950 to 51 to 53. It ran in syndication, and it was Reed Hadley who went on to star in The Public Defender from 1954 to 1955. What 1957 and 58 syndicated series starring Beverly Garland? Yeah, she kind of was on TV all the way through the 50s, all the way up until like 7th Heaven. Beverly Garland. She played a female police officer. This is before Policewoman, but it was one of them. A, Policewoman, B, Undercover Woman, C, Target, or D, Decoy. The answer was Decoy. The answer was D, Decoy. I said Undercover Woman. I was wrong on that. It was Decoy. Beverly Garland would then go on to play Barbara Douglas on My Three Sons. Wow. The M Squad, which ran on NBC from 1957 to 1960, starred a future movie tough guy as Lieutenant Frank Bollinger, the Chicago Police Department. What series was it? Who was it? Was it A, Charles Bronson, B, James Colburn, C, Clint Eastwood, or D, Lee Marvin? I said Charles Bronson. Of course, I don't remember the series, so I would probably guess that, right? Yeah, it was Lee Marvin. Okay, Lee Marvin. This one was really a tough one. I really didn't know that much about the early Dragnets. I like to watch them, the old black and white ones. They ran the first running of Dragnet. This was from NBC from 1951 to 1959. Had how many partners did Joe Friday have in that 8-year run? Was it A, 4, B, 3, C, 2, or D, 1? And the answer, I said 4. I was wrong. It was 3. It was 3. Barton Yarborough, who played Sergeant Ron Romero, who died unexpectedly after the 3rd episode. He died after the 3rd episode. They had to find a replacement for him. They did, Barney Phillips, who was Sergeant Ed Jacobs. He would later be replaced by Officer Frank Smith, who was played first by Harb Ellis. So there's something interesting. Number 6, 1959-1960 ABC series starring Andrew Dugan, Richard Long, Van Williams. They were members of the New Orleans Private Detective Agency. Was it A, The Big Easy, B, Assignment New Orleans, C, The French Quarter, or D, Bourbon Street Beat? And the answer was Bourbon Street Beat. I answered Assignment New Orleans. I was wrong there. Bourbon Street Beat. After the series went on, Richard Long went to the Big Valley, and Van Williams would go on to play the Green Hornet. And Richard Dugan would then play Lancer. Fascinating piece of trivia there. Absolutely. Let's go to number 8, 1957 to 59 NBC series based on the movie Name, starred Peter Lawford, Phyllis Kirk, and Nick and Nora Charles. What was the name of the show? Was it A, The Third Man, B, The Thin Man, C, Topper, or D, I Led 3 Lives? Now, I got this answer right. I was like, wow, did I get it right? I did. It was The Thin Man. William Powell and Myrna Loy starred in the movie version. From 1958 to 1963, reality-based detective series set in New York City earned 16 Emmys and 4 wins. Do you know the name of this landmark show? And I was right on this one, too. I didn't believe that, but I remember seeing it a couple of times. Clips of it, clips of the opening. I think I did a sponsor bit with that on this show. The Naked City. The Naked City. It starred. It was the Naked City. That was the answer was A. James Franciscus, who would later be TV's Mr. Novak, is one of the stars of that show. Naked City. Wow. And then I got this right. Of course, it's obvious why. What 1959 to 1963 ABC police drama starred the newspaper columnist Walter Winchell as a narrator? Was it A, The New Breed, B, The Untouchables, C, Richard Diamond, Private Detective, or D, They Stand Accused? And it was B, The Untouchables, of course. Walter Winchell doing the fabulous, well-known, we always knew you were watching that series when you heard Walter Winchell. Black and white series, the original Untouchables. Absolutely fabulous. So there you go. I got some mystery questions coming up at the end of the show, so stay tuned for those. And you can answer those on the GJRB Spreaker public site. And when you listen to the show in reruns, when you play it back as an on-demand podcast, you can still answer the questions in the final part. When I go into the final part, you can answer those questions, and I will check your answers, and I will acknowledge you for the correct answer on the next edition of Radio, Television, and Movie Classics when I give you the answers to the questions. So you can answer those questions that way, and I need to direct a lot of those people. This site's fabulous, actually. It is. You've got to check this out and be able to play the games on here. They're absolutely incredible. The site of this actually is called People Quiz. And it's a really neat website. Absolutely. You got trivia in all kinds of categories. And it's fabulous. They are incredible. And you can even make up your own trivia questions and send it and put it on there. And I guess if you have the really good trivia questions, you win some prizes in this thing. It's absolutely incredible. It's a site you got to check out, and you can absolutely do that. All you have to do is People Quiz and the address, and I'm going to go to the main page. Trying to get to the main page here, so I can give you the email, the web address to this, so you can find it. It is absolutely a fabulous site. It's called It's not really secure. if you have all the stuff to protect yourself, I don't see why you couldn't play. It's called peoplequiz.com. www.peoplequiz.com. Go to the site. They got some whole loads of trivia questions. I think it's better than the other one I was using. It really is. It's absolutely incredible. They have some of the neatest trivia questions, and they are neat. And I'm going to probably work up some trivia questions to send to them and see if I can get some prizes out of that. That would be pretty cool. Indeedy. You're listening to Radio, Television, Movie Classics. I hope you're enjoying the program. If you like the show, hit the like button. If you're listening to this even as a podcast, hit the like button. I want to know there's people out there who really like this program. The last time I had it on, I had no listeners at all. And this is a fun show to listen to. We have some great trivia and a lot of stuff. And I'm going to throw some songs on and post this show around, and we're going to go freeform a little bit on this program, but I want to try to get as much of the segments in as possible. Coming up in just a little bit, we'll do the top 10 movies from 1965, and we'll do some more trivia questions. So stay tuned for that. And coming up in the next hour, final hour, we'll do What's on Spreaker, and give you some more trivia questions, and we're going to do commercials from Defunct Products. Try to, we'll do Americana, which was and is no more, which is absolutely fun to do. We'll do Americana coming up on the other side of the break. It's always fun to do that. It's one of my favorites. So we'll do that coming up next, so I hope you'll stay with me. Radio, Television, and Movie Classics. Thanks a lot for tuning in to GJRB Online, and this is where we always have the fun stuff, and I really love doing this trivia stuff, so just kind of tune in and check out all the stuff we got here. I got some really good stuff here on GJRB Online here on Spreaker. Really good stuff. And we're going to check the weather in your neck of the woods coming up next on Weather on the Fives. Take a look at some more areas being impacted by some severe weather. We last looked at Jackson, Mississippi. They are getting some severe weather, so we're going to take a look at that coming up. On the other side of the break, I'll have the top 10 movies of 1965, and we're going to do 50 minutes of non-stop talk. So stay with me. Radio, Television, Movie Classics on GJRB Online, and we'll throw some music in there as well, some great oldies. 50s, 60s, 70s rock and roll, go back to the 40s too. Just play some tunes and some great oldies. I always play oldies because this is a nostalgic program. So we'll throw in some oldies and go through some classic air checks too. I've got a couple of them really good ones, some rare ones that will play for you. Especially if you're in the Quad Cities area, if you're from that area. Short one from Pat, from a guy we always called Spike the Mike Spike Odell. I got one. I want to play here. So I got a few of those. And one from WFLA in Tampa, Florida. So stay with me. Radio, Television, Movie Classics. On GJRB Online, we play even some classic radio air checks, song scoped, but it's fun to listen to those. And I'll post all over the public site and see if we can get some listeners. So keep it here. Radio, Television, Movie Classics on GJRB. I'd love to hear from you on a Friday afternoon. Let's see. Be back on the air tomorrow at 3 o'clock. On Possibility, I was talking with Ben Osman back a couple of days ago. And Possibility, we could for sure get him tomorrow. So we're going to be on the air with the Gary Russell program Saturday Extra tomorrow afternoon here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker, on the GJRB Online Network. And I will have Ben Osman be on. We're going to talk about what's going on in the news, and we're going to chat a little bit tomorrow, so I hope you'll tune into that broadcast. 3 o'clock Central tomorrow, right here on GJRB Online for the Gary Russell program Saturday Extra. Okay. Alrighty then, and it's just I gotta check a little because my other watch I had was used as a clock broke on me. Well, it didn't break. All I did is the battery died in it, so I'm gonna have to see if I can get another battery for it. It just went out today, so I'm using the my regular my regular watch that I wear. I just kind of taped it to the monitor so that I can look at it and see what time it is. Yeah, because again, my other watch died, so I had no choice. Okay, you're tuned to the Radio, Television, Movie Classics. Let's take a look at weather on the fives here on GJRB Online. Take a look at what's going on in the weather nationwide. And take a look at some other areas across the country. We're taking a look at the weather. Interesting weather south of us right now. And they got some really nasty weather along the Jackson, Mississippi area. So what I'm going to do, before real quickly a break here, let's do some national temperatures first. Tampa, Florida, checking in with 88 degrees. They're close to 90, man. Wow, partly cloudy. 66 degrees, kind of cool in Manhattan, New York. 73 degrees right now in Los Angeles, California, under fair skies. Cleveland, Ohio, checking in with 70. Cedar Rapids, Iowa, just across the state from us, is about 40. Washington, D.C., checking in at 67, our nation's capital. And we'll take a look at Clinton's weather forecast coming up in the last hour here on Radio, Television, and Movie Classics. Here on GJRB Online. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the program wherever you're listening. And I hope you're enjoying the program today here on Spreaker. And of course, a lot of you are listening to this as a recorded podcast. A lot of those temperatures don't matter to you because you're after the fact. But I do weather on the fives all the time on this program. Let people know what's going on in the weather. And tonight, for some of you people listening in Mississippi, you're going to get into some pretty nasty rain weather and stuff. You got some bad storms. And we were supposed to get some really bad storms here in Clinton, Iowa yesterday, but it kind of blew over. We were supposed to get some severe storms, but they kind of went more toward the southeast and didn't really touch us all that much. But, oh well. This site is called Ranker. They kind of move their movies around in the top 10, but here we go. We're going to do the top 10 movies from 1965 in the projection room. We found them, so we're going to have that coming up next. That's cool. It's always fun to do those. Let's see. We have coming up. We'll do those. The top 10 movies from 1965 on the way. Also coming up, and we're going to do 50 minutes of nonstop talk and trivia and stuff like that on the other side of the 4:30 break. Got a lot of really good stuff, so stay with me for that. We're also going to do Americana, which was and is no more, and defunct television commercials. Got some good ones, some defunct products, all coming up as we continue Radio, Television, Movie Classics. So stay right here. Don't go away.
Israel. When they say peace, then cometh sudden destruction. Volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, signs in the heavens. Keep up with world news and events you hear on GJRB's News on the Hour. Go to Anytime Headlines at www.anytimeheadlines.org with a lot of chaos happening. Keep in touch with Anytime Headlines and GJRB.
Recently, the owner of Facebook had a Facebook Congress over personal information on Facebook users. In addition, users are saying that their postings were being deleted. Getting sick and tired of censorship and data being used without your permission? Do something about 107.1.
minutes of non-stop trivia fun on radio, television, and movie classics. So stay with me here on GGRB Online, and we're going to have in the final hour some more great trivia questions, and also we'll do the my favorite piece that I love doing, and that's Americana, which was and is no more, and that's dedicated to a radio personality in Pittsburgh by the name of Doug Hirth, who had a great trivia program back in Pittsburgh a long, long time ago, and I kind of adopted that Americana thing from him. He died, and he was one of the... kind of really missed this guy. He was a great talk show host, and he had a great show. He was on KDKA for a lot of years, and I got that idea for the Americana, talking about things that just don't exist anymore. For some apparent reason, they just stopped making these products. It's kind of fun. So we got that coming up. Also, more trivia questions, and we'll do 15 minutes of non-stop talk. So you want to stay with me in the coming segments as we wrap up this program. Coming up in the last hour, of course, we'll have more Americana and what's on Spreaker and what's coming up on GGRB. And let's see, our mystery questions. So that's on the way here on GGRB Online. But right now, back to the projection room, because we found all our movies. Yep, we found the top 10 movies, the top 10 scoring movies for 1965 right now. So we're going to do that. And we're going to take a look at some of the movies that are absolutely fabulous that came out in 1965, starting at number 10. Starting at number 10 is a motion picture starring John Wayne, Kirk Douglas, and Henry Fonda. It was called In Harm's Way.
My name is Otto Preminger, and this is the engine room of a Navy cruiser which plays a starring role in my picture In Harm's Way. It tells of the sudden panic after the attack on Pearl Harbor, of the heartbreak, the hopes, the loves, the humor and warmth of a handful of men and women. They were outnumbered. Their ships had no radar. Their guns were rusty, but they had guts. The will to survive as they fought their way back to victory. There are no studio sets in this film. It was shot in the actual locales of the story in order to achieve the maximum authenticity, reality, and excitement. The screenplay was written by Wendell Mays, based on the best-selling novel by James Bassett.
Fast ship going in harm's way. Lousy situation.
And these are lengthy trailers, so I'm not going to play them all the way through. But that is that's a good movie, I understand. In Harm's Way. Great film. Check that out. So you're going to want to get into that one. Meanwhile, let's take a look at our next movie. At number 9 is a comedy. Great one. It was called The Great Race.
Tony Curtis is brave, of course. But he's never been as brave as this before. Jack Lemmon. Funny? Naturally. But never so fantastically funny as this. Men chasing Natalie Wood? Not surprising, but never so frantically before. No one has ever been as great as they are in the world's greatest comedy, The Great Race. It's the greatest. It's the gayest. It's the wildest. It's the funniest. could it help but be with Jack Lemmon as Professor Fate, the meanest villain that ever twirled a mustache? Tony Curtis as the Great Leslie, gallant lover and heroic daredevil. Natalie Wood as Maggie Dubois, loveliest of lovely damsels in distress. Peter Falk, Keenan Wynn, Larry Storch, Dorothy Provine. It's the fabulous around-the-world race from New York to Paris. A rambunctious, rib-busting riot of a race. Its high points only outrun by the hilarity of what happens in between heats.
You are an emancipated woman, Mr. Bond. And I am an emancipated man.
They'll lead you a merry
Slap
chase
him in his
on
trap.
land, under the sea, and
Of course, Natalie Wood, anybody would chase her. Anyhow,
You'll never stop laughing.
that was a great comedy there called The Great Race, and I'm not sure if I ever saw that movie, but it's not a pretty good one. Jack Lemmon, Tony Curtis, Natalie Wood, called The Great Race, as we do the top 10 movies from 1965 in the projection room on GJRB Online. Coming up, we're going to do 50 minutes of non-stop trivia entertainment as we continue radio, television, and movie classics. And coming up, we'll do the next let's see where we're at here. Let's see, we're at number 9. We'll go to the next 8 movies from 1965. One of them is a great 007 movie starring Sean Connery. Fabulous. And of course, some of the real good movies yet to come in our top 10 from 1965 as we continue radio, television, and movie classics here on GJRB Online. Love to hear from you. Well, come on now. I'm sure there's people out there. I'm sure there is that would love to get in on this trivia today here on radio, television, and movie classics, because it's just so much fun doing this stuff. When we come back, we're going to do 50 minutes of non-stop trivia fun. Stay with me. Radio, television, and movie classics continues on GJRB. Be right back.